A lot of you guys request that I should do a vlog about terminology, about the word that we use in coffee, about the word that we use in hospitality in general. English is not my mother tongue language, so I have here Brian. Alright, so Brian, come here, brother.
Hey guys.
So Brian, shake hand, shaking hand. Formal one. So Brian, alright, he's a banana.
I forgot to bring my banana today.
Alright, so when I asked Brian, hey Brian, is English your first language? What did you say?
Technically no. Technically no.
Not your first language. Yes.
So I'm from Malaysia.
Yes.
I am what you call a Malaysian Chinese. So because I was born in a Chinese descendant, I have Mandarin as my mother tongue.
Mandarin.
But I'm one of the minorities in Malaysia that I prefer speaking English over Mandarin. Sorry, Mum. So here we are today. I speak better English than my Mandarin, I would say, but more to improve.
To clarify this point, banana is what he said, not what I said, alright? So a lot of you guys probably pick me up on this, but please, banana is from his mouth, alright?
I'm a banana. And for those who don't know what a banana is, here it is. Disclaimer, it didn't come from me, but I agree. A banana is what you call yellow on the outside, white on the inside. So what that means is, yes, I may look Chinese, Asian, generally speaking, but inside, my culture, my way of life, my lifestyle, and obviously my choice of language is very close to a Caucasian, white. Therefore, banana.
There you go. And Brian is also a barista, soon to be a cafe owner as well. So that's why I'm having him here today to help me do this vlog, correct my English, and also to introduce to you guys, you know, all the terminology, the word in English that, you know, some of you, even like, you know, local might not even know, because we barista, we know it, we know how to call it that way. Alright, so if you guys are ready, that's a bit of a long introduction though, but if you guys are ready, let's dive right in.
Let's go.
Alright. Alright, so how do we start this? Alright, so I think the best way to do this today, sorry guys, because literally I don't have any script. It's just out of my thought, out of my thinking. Probably we just do it like the way I just point in a random thing.
Yes.
And then you can just name it, and then I also name it. So okay. Let's see, is there any difference between the way I call it and you call it?
Yeah.
And then I also, because as I said earlier, the main audience would be probably like Vietnamese. So I will say that in Vietnamese as well.
Cool.
All right. So probably the big thing, the most visible thing first. So what do you call this? This guy, this big boy.
That is a coffee machine.
Coffee machine. Yeah. You pass. Some people actually call it an espresso machine as well.
Cool.
Agree? Yeah.
I can agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, because the reason why it makes espresso, right? So to differentiate that to other coffee brewing stuff like, you know, a batch brewer, a pour over, thing like that. So that one to make espresso. Cool. Pass. All right. And these two guys have the same name, and what do you call that? Those?
I call those grinders.
Grinder.
Grinder for a singular term, grinders for both.
Grinders, alright? And then even though it has a specific name,
yes.
Right? So this one, if you want to go really specific, normally we just call it by the name, the company name, so the model name sometimes. Like this one we call Maser.
Yes.
Yeah? Maser. Alright. And this one we call
EK, but the manufacturer of this particular model, so EK is the model name, and the brand name, I call it Malconic.
Malconic, yes, same. Alright, cool.
Malconic.
Alright, and then we go a little bit deep in how it functions and, you know, all the terms that relate to the machine later.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, next thing. Come back to the machine. What do you call this thing?
I call this a portafilter.
Yes.
Portafilter?
Portafilter.
Portafilter.
Portafilter. Agree. To be honest, that's a really like barista term for this.
That is a barista term.
Yes,
That's not
I
normal
prefer
English.
to call it more casually as a group handle. Yeah.
So I would say the reason why Vincent calls that a group handle is because we call this a group head. What do you call it?
Group head, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So because the handle is coming from the group head, therefore I can understand as to why people call it the group handle. But in some instances, in my opinion, say if you have, let's say you're cleaning one, right? This technically can be called a group handle as well, but then there's no filter.
Ah, that's a good point.
So the specificity of calling this a portafilter distinguishes the difference between this one and this one. This one is a portafilter because there's a filter basket that allows the espresso shot to come through. This one, I could probably settle with a group handle with no filter, with the intent
That's a good point.
of cleaning the machine. So this is why I feel like, yes, portafilter, yes, group handle, but in this instance, I would actually prefer to call it the specific term of a portafilter.
Alright, cool.
That's
So
my justification.
you just touched a word that I want to talk about as well, which is this thing. Alright, what do you call this?
A basket.
A basket. Alright. Filter basket, I would
Filter
call it to
basket.
be more
Yeah.
specific.
Yep.
Yeah. Because the reason is I would differentiate that with this one I call a blind basket.
A blind basket.
Yeah. Do you know this or not?
No, I actually didn't know that. So I would call it just a steel bucket.
Well, it's like people just call it a cleaning one.
Yes.
Yes.
A cleaning basket. Yeah.
A cleaning basket, and this is a brew basket.
Yes.
Yes, brew basket. Right. And I just also remember there's another name for this one. It's the brew head.
Ah.
Yeah. So people actually sometimes refer to this as a brew head instead of the group head. If speaking to someone who new to coffee, I would probably prefer to call it a brew group. Sorry, a brew head.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, cool. Now, there's always this function, if you can bring the camera closer, Nancy. Oh, sorry to introduce our camera, not man, but girl today, will be Nancy. Alright, I haven't met Nancy in my previous vlog, so just watch it. I will leave the link here or anywhere on the screen, alright? Alright, Nancy, my sister, she's camera girl today. Cool. So every machine will have this thing. Alright, when I touch it, hot water comes. What do you call it?
I call it a boiler.
Boiler?
I call it a boiler.
Alright, cool. So I call it a hot water tap.
Hot water tap.
Because the boiler to me would probably like something that, you know,
Yeah.
inside the machine.
Yeah.
Because all the machine will have the boiler.
They're all individual,
which is, you
yes.
know, that thing heats up the water and then create pressure.
Yeah.
And all those stuff. So calling this boiler, yes and no, I don't know. Yep. It's good to have like some differences in there.
Difference, yeah.
Because as I mentioned earlier, some of you might not even know what it's called.
Yes.
Alright. So that's good. Alright, next thing. What do you call this boiler?
This is called steam one.
Steam one. Alright, cool. Steam one.
If you guys watch Harry Potter, there's ones. It's called a steam one. It's for baristas, not magicians. But they're the same word. Wands.
One.
Yeah.
Alright,
I
cool.
call it a steam one.
Cool. Yeah.
What do you call
Agree
it?
with that? Steamer.
Okay. Steamer.
Yeah. Well, steam one, steamer. Is there any different name for it?
No, that's all I know.
Yeah,
That's
it
all
goes
I know.
by two
Steamer
very
and steam
common
one.
names.
Yeah.
Steam one or steamer.
Mm.
All right. And this thing, what do you call it?
I call it a filter tray.
Filter tray. Yeah. Kind of agree on that. I call it a drip tray.
Drip tray.
Yes.
Even
because now a lot of word is not coming from me, but because of I've been working with coffee for so long to so many cafes,
Yes.
Cafes and stuff. So I do see different ways that people call it. Yeah. Drip tray. I think that's really
Drip tray is
good
good.
name for it.
Drip tray.
All right. So if we look at all these little circle box in here, that probably has a name.
Yes.
And what do you call it?
I call it pressure gauge.
Pressure gauge. That word gauge is something that I always mispronounce.
Yeah.
I say gold. Gold.
Well, it's understandable. So if you're not speaking English as a first language, The word G-A-U-G-E, I would not blame anyone if they say gouge. So it is only after you've heard someone say the word gauge, then you would probably know that the word is gauge.
Yeah.
Forgive it. Cool. But yes, gauge.
And the reason why we call it pressure gauge is because it measures the pressure. So whenever you press any button in here, and you know the water will come down with a specific pressure.
Yes.
And then it will vary. It will start slow and then it will pump up to a certain pressure, normally 9 bar pressure.
Yeah.
And then it will decrease that. So that gauge, it will tell you
Yes.
how much is sitting at.
Yes.
Cool, cool.
Yep.
Kind of very important that before I didn't know about this
Yep.
at all. And then I watched a couple of YouTube videos. People explain about how we can keep track of our espresso shot by looking at the pressure gauge.
Yes.
So now I kind of observe that more often.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Moving on to this side then, and then we come back to that side later. What do you call these?
I call these milk jugs.
Milk jug. Pitcher is another
Pitcher.
name for it. I actually don't use that word, but yeah, I prefer to go like milk jug.
Yep.
But pitcher is another name for it.
Yep.
Alright, cool. And normally will be 3 sizes,
Yes.
small, the medium, and the large. And then also there will be like different shape and different design and all those things. So I will make a specific video about jugs and stuff in the future.
Guys, this is the guy to talk to about jugs. One of the best latte guys in town.
Thank you.
Not
for the
even
shout
close.
out.
Okay.
Cool. What do you call this?
I call this a jug rinser.
Jug rinser, agreed. Alright, jug rinser, that's it. I don't have to correct it.
So following from the term they call milk jug.
Milk jug, yeah.
It's jug rinser. That's why I call it a jug rinser.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of word, it's just a make-up word.
Yeah.
So people just combine the word, the thing that we use for it, that is normally used for, and then the action that we do to call it.
Well, bringing up the point where sometimes people calling it pitches.
Yeah.
The way that you specify this when you want to purchase the item on most manufacturers' website is actually pitches rinser.
Pitcher rinser.
There, if you type in jug rinser, in Google it might give you the result that you need, but if you go on a manufacturer's website, specifically type in the search bar, most of the time they actually come up as pitcher rinser, not jug rinser. So just to know.
Ooh, that's a good point. I actually never looked it up. Alright, cool. Moving on to this side. What do you call this?
This is a bit of a tricky one. I call it a saucer.
Alright. That's it. Why do you say it's tricky then?
Some people categorize saucer as this was a mistake I made before. So when you go to a Japanese restaurant and you ask for soy sauce, and they put it in this little plate for you. Yeah. Some people call that a saucer too, but obviously recently I've learned that that's not the case. A saucer is a plate that allows you to put a cup on it. I think that's a better definition for that. But yeah, you call it saucer too?
I first called it a plate.
A plate.
A coffee plate. Yeah. And then I find out, plate is something much bigger.
Yes.
Yeah, and for food, mainly for food.
Yep. And you don't put cups on plate.
Yeah. Well, anyway, in Vietnamese we have one word for it. I reckon is đĩa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we only have one word for it. So in English, like sometimes people will be more specific about what it is and they use for it. All right. So this.
Well, that's a hard one. We call that spoon.
To be more specific, it's a coffee spoon, right? Because no one drink coffee with a big spoon.
Here's the thing though, like if I were to be specific, I would actually call it a teaspoon rather than a coffee spoon. Oh, gotta go.
I pay for it.
Already? Already?
No, don't worry, I pay for it. That will be the cost of making video. You have to...
Wait. Stop her. Has she print? Stop her. That door, baby.
The other one.
The other door. Quick.